Tell me when God told you to speak to the rock, i.e. take your time, that you're going to hit the rock just because some outside chatter told you that you 42 and you should be married already because you're so successful. Now I'm going to talk to the rock all day long. I'm going to get my water and my promised land. And that's exactly what we're going to do.
And the Lord said.
Amen. Amen. And guess what I'm going to do? What God says. I'm going to have the witnesses witness me do all of it.
Come on.
And so I could be a testimony and continue to be a vessel for his word to show that we ain't got to be impatient.
Come on.
We do have to be obedient. And
Come
so
on.
faith is an action word. If you ask for it, God will do it. And it's not on your time, it's on his. So once you ask for it, let God give you experience that gives you wisdom, that equips you for what you need to be with who and where you need to be. Because you got too many people that are not only doing time, but their kids are too, and the mothers are too, because neither one of them took their time to wait for the right time for the meat, like Paul said, not to be toxic, but to be cooked.
Come on now. Now, let me ask you this. Are you okay with a man who already has children? No. Okay, why
Deal
not?
breaker. Deal breaker.
Deal breaker for you? Why
because
not?
I want my own family.
And you feel like you cannot have that with a man who already has children?
That is a form of polyamory.
Really? Explain that, please.
She keep going down this rabbit hole. She don't want to date a man with kids. She 44, 43, whatever. She don't want a man with kids, but she wants kids. So she be on the record saying she will date a man as young as 28 if he can pop babies in her. She don't want an old man because y'all got kids and y'all either got them already or you can't have them. So when people ask her why she's single, she got all these built-in excuses already because all these men already got kids, because they got ED, he can't have kids, and on and on and on. All right, so you can't fire me, I quit.
Because they emotionally unstable, they immature, emotionally inflamed. Shout out to Dr. Gavin Bryant and her wild talking points. Keep in mind, ladies and gents, the first thing she did was bring God into the conversation, right? She said, God has a plan. She waits on God to, deliver his plan to her. Keep that in mind as she continues talking. This is a good old God-fearing Christian woman. Keep that in mind.
and what do you got on the Ebony? The fact that she said dating a man with children is some form of poly relationship.
Well, and Raquel, she hit it right on the nose when she said she overkicked her coverage. Like you had your opportunity probably many years down the road. You didn't take it, and now we're seeing the effects of it right now. She's sitting there. She wants the family. She wants the relationship. She wants all that, but you had your opportunity many times ago and you didn't take it then. So
Crazy.
Yeah.
We'll let it go for a minute.
Okay. Polyamory doesn't have to do with us all living in a household together and we're all doing the do. Polyamory is outside relationships that I'm okay with. So if I'm in a relationship with Paul, I have to be okay with him having a relationship with the mothers of his children.
Yeah.
I would hope he does,
Yeah.
right? So although he's not sleeping with them, or we would want to think he's not, let's just take him as being a good man. He's just co-parenting and doing it the right way. Well, when Christmas or holidays come around, or a birthday party or a wedding or graduation, Paul has every right to spend time with his kids. And if the mother is there, I mean, they procreated together. It's not a crime for her to be in the same room as him. That's what co-parenting is, healthy co-parenting is. If I agree to that, I am now, or I should be, attempting to be healthy with these women, right? If I'm going to love him, I love Paul's kids. So now I'm in a polyamory relationship that I'm agreeing to be in, because although you're not sleeping with this woman, we all are a family, whether you want to think of it that way or not. Because if I love this man, part-time, full-time.
Because like
polyamory can be part-time, full-time. We can polyamory from 2 to 5 p.m.
This is wild. She is moving in complete scarcity and lack. Like she just sitting here and she tried to do a good job of explaining it, but it only makes sense to crazy people or delusional and desperate. This is crazy.
Dr. excuse me. Gavin Bryant, her thing is she's getting her desired outcome. But folks like her, boss chicks like her, they are not clear with what their desired outcome is. But she's gonna let us know. Ain't got nothing to do with marriage and nothing like that. Long as they get in what they desire, and I'm gonna shut up.
So what you got, Raquel? She's stressing this poly relationship about. I mean, it makes sense about what she's talking about, having to deal with different people, but she's going extreme with the poly stuff.
She's going extreme because she knows that
the people that are watching are those people. The people like, and I think that also she's a bit turned off by Paul. So she's trying to take shots at him. So she's trying to take shots at Paul for having multiple children, probably by multiple women. Although I do think he was married. I don't know if he has all of his children with one woman, but it just seemed like on this podcast, she got out of her element because he was triggering her. Because this is another man sitting in front of her that she's been around in Hollywood because she's been in LA for a long time now. These are the men she's been rubbing elbows with, seeing at different lunch brunch spots in LA that have never picked her. Now she's come up with some sort of fame for pushing this love guru theory crap when it's just all word salad.
It don't matter what the time frame is. It is what it is. So I am not willing to agree to be in a polyamorous relationship because I am a faithful woman.
Damn.
So I'm not going to have a man outside of him to equal out the playing field because technically I'm at a loss. You get to have 2 other families and I get to have you. And what if I don't want to share you on Christmas?
Or any day, any
What
day.
if I don't want to share you on your child's birthday? And I'm not saying that's okay. I'm speaking reality. See, people don't want to speak reality. A lot of I've yet to hear a woman who is with a man, even if she has a kid outside of him. Let's say they both have kids outside of each other, who have not said, if it was just us and our kids, it would be much easier.
Absolutely.
And that's even without having baby mama, baby daddy drama. We're talking about the emotion that comes with it. So if I don't want to share you on Monday, January 3rd, because I'm just in my space where I want you, but Lil Paul has a birthday party and he needs his father.
Yeah.
And I want to support you. So I love y'all. I take you as a package deal. But I don't have any kids.
She sounds very insecure. They always talk about how men are insecure, but her insecurities are pouring out of her pure. She's sitting here like, I don't want to compete with no other baby mamas. I ain't competing with your kids. It's me, me, me. At 44 years old, I want to meet a man in his 40s, maybe, that wants to have his first kid with me. And you see what I'm saying? Make all this make sense, sister.
Talk about these old skeeting old eggs. So now you want to combine old skeeting old eggs, and then he got to definitely fit a package physically that you desire. Not like this the good doctor, freak monster extraordinaire. So the ninja don't exist.
But like I'm a stepmom. I got with my husband. He has a child by another woman. If ever there needs to be a time where he's out of the house for a holiday, that's something that you and him sit down and talk about together. Like they're always sitting up here speaking from lack and scarcity, and it's just like, why does it always have to be your way or the highway? Like if you don't understand a man's love for his child, or that he can compartmentalize the love he has for his mother, his grandmother, his child, co-parenting with his baby's mother, these are just red flags that are glaring to the men that you would consider dating, because it speaks of selfishness. And it doesn't speak of peace. It speaks of you're seeking perfection from men when you are no longer perfect. You're past the wall. Like she said, she's 42. She's asking men for perfection, which she cannot give herself.
Here's what we'll say. I'll get you in, Ebony. What would you say to women that they need to get married younger if you got these kind of demands and requirements? Would you wait to this age and still have demands like this?
Well, you can't have these demands at this age because you, like Mrs. Raquel said, you overkicked your coverage. How are you having all these demands? You want somebody who's at your age to not have kids and to want to do all this stuff. Nobody is trying to vet you for marriage and to have kids. You're 44. Like, come on now. Like that ship. I mean, not to say it's not possible, but that ship has sailed. But the part of this whole interview that I love so much is Paul he's just chilling in the cut. He's got his Playboy silk outfit on. He's got his feet kicked up, and he's just listening to her spew all this.
He got on his
nonsense.
little Ugg fuzzy slippers.
Yeah. Like he's like, okay, I'm listening to all this. He's not paying her no mind, no attention. All the stuff that she's talking about, it's a wrap. So
keep letting her talk, let her cook herself.
Right.
So guess what? You get me 365 days of the year, unless I'm on my speaking tour, or I'm in session healing a client, or I'm here on y'all podcast, and you can even come here with me. You still don't got to share me. So what am I saying is it is an unfair bargain that too many women and men do, because men date women with kids too. And that man may not have kids, and he's also signing up for that.
Think about what she just said. These women love moving the goal line. She said, you can't have a baby mama, you can't have kids because it's going to take up too much of your time and all this. But she said, for me, I don't have kids. I'm going to give you all my time unless I'm working. She says, unless I'm out on the road doing a podcast event. But she said, hey, even if I'm up here with Paul Pierce, you can come with me. You can sit in the back and wait. Well, why can't you do the same while he with his kids? Why do he got to compromise, but you don't?
Because feminism, Mr. X, modern sisters, they want girlfriends with weenies and cojones. That is what it is. They want you to be in the back waiting on her. Shout out to Papoose, and the Fields girl or Shields. You see what I'm saying? They want you sitting there holding bottles of water, her purse. Egregious.
And so, as much as people may not want to say it, it definitely creates a wedge between those two people, because this man has already done the most deepest,
intimate
thing you can ever do with another human, which is what? Procreate. See, I can marry you all day long, and you can go do that with anyone else. Once I create a child with you, that is your DNA and my DNA. Where else can you mix us to that depth or that level? Where else can you cleave and woove us into a quilt together? We can't even do that in marriage.
Damn, that's deep.
All right. I got a question. Yeah. What's your okay? So
like damn.
No, because you hit me with some stuff. I'm like, wow.
She said some things, right?
Yeah.
But so now that changes the whole dynamic on who you date.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? She's not looking for an older man than her. She's looking for somebody much younger than her. That changes the whole dynamic.
Well, if he's my age with no kids, he's.
Most men is a red flag your age with no kids.
Someone said that, right? Like, I was dating a man who was 41 and he had no children. Really great guy. And my sister was like, he's a red flag because he has no children at that age. And I said, is he a red flag or is he smart? Because I'm confused. Is he smart enough not to procreate with someone that is not really his match or he's in alignment with? Because if he's single now, he probably would have been single with them kids too, still trying to date. So I heard that before. And I was very curious to that because I'm like, he was a really good guy. It just didn't work out. But I was like, I don't see it necessarily as a red flag because it might be a smarter move because I know too many men that are 41, 42 with children and they don't mess with the children, the mother of their children, or if they do and do whatever on the side, okay. But I'm curious to know what your thoughts are on that.
So from my personal experience, right, not from like clinical speaking or a psychology expert, men with no kids of age, like y'all are saying, happen to be selfish. There's nothing they've had to cover their whole life. There's nothing outside themselves they've had to think about or consider.
So is that a red flag?
A selfish man?
I think so.
No.
But women are exempt. So are you exempt from that same logic, Dr. Bryant? Does it apply to you? You don't have kids, you 40-something? Are you selfish? Are you no good to be a partner? Or that only applies to men?
Mr. X, it applies to her as well. And what's amazing is she's going to say it indirectly. As Sharon Bryant continues to talk about herself and her personal dating experiences, you come to find out, yes, most boss chicks like Cheyenne Candida are very selfish. Thanks, yeah, for sure.
And as far as the other woman on the couch, I guess she was a late bloomer. I don't know if y'all seen her on Instagram, but she used to be like 300 pounds. So she lost a ton of weight. And now she coming into her own now. But Paul, like, I don't want her. She was 300. I tell y'all, respectfully, when the women are 300, think about the men they sleeping with. And then they lose weight. Then they in a whole nother dating pool. You don't want nugs leftovers, I promise you.
Unfortunate sisters. Kev was undefeated with that. Not only do women not get any better than their baby daddies when it comes to dating, when it comes to hunching, and you go from gutter mug nug nug, now you want to be next to retired NBA players. Y'all don't want to hear, but they factored that in 100%. Oh, would you? Oh, okay, you was 300. Okay,
she got money too. She a little trust fund baby. I guess her dad is well off, so she a little spoiled trust fund baby, and now she done lost a ton of weight as she come into her adulthood.
Got a little leverage there with the bread now. Pay to play.
I definitely think so.
That's what I said.
Yeah, definitely think so.
Right.
However, if you get a man of age who does have kids, you would hope that he is a very active father. Him being an active father also comes with him having to be selfish in order to be present with his kids.
Yes.
So there is an aspect that may be a healthy selfishness, where it's like, yo, I may want to eat, sleep, and chit you all day, but I gotta be a father. So there's going to be a part of me that may look selfish because I got to put these kids in a priority position somewhere.
For sure.
Right? And wherever they go into those spaces, baby, you can't go.
And the kids are before the woman, you would say?
No.
No.
But watch this. So in let's just say you and Paul are married and y'all procreate your own little stinkers. You know, I mean, I'm a biblical girl. I'm a Jesus girl. Biblically, the hierarchy goes God, Paul, you, babies.
I told her that.
Babies. But let me tell you why. Men have the honor of God automatically covering them.
Yeah.
Right? Women, we marry into our man's covering. So men gets God's covering, we get a double layer of covering, and the kids get triple layer of covering. Why? Because they're kids, they have no insight.
Oof.
They need a double layer of protection. However, love that we're going here. If Paul has you and y'all babies, oh, he got her and her babies. Oh, he got her and her babies. I'm just curious on how in the hell was he covering all three women at the same time and all of them kids at the same time? Let me tell you why. Because covering is spiritual, but it's also physical. How are you able to be present and cover everybody all at the same time if they're not all in one space or under the same roof, collectively together every day, every night? One of these kids ain't getting picked up from school from Papa Paul. One of these kids, he may not be able to get to the dentist appointment at the expense of another kid because he has to be there for the kid who's in his household. And the child let's just say y'all live together, is going to be getting the equity of him.
Yes.
Because he's in the house, he's present. How do you think this makes other children feel? They may not be able to articulate it, but they do grow up feeling a little unwanted, even though Paul was trying his best. And I'm not even saying, because you got men who are they are giving everything they got.
How are you speaking for these men is blasphemy? Paul's sitting right there. If you got any questions, you should ask him. Why would you project and say, well, Paul, I guess Paul got 4 kids by 2 women. And she like, well, how do you split your time if you got kid in that household, and you at the dentist and that kid gonna feel bad and this and that? She trying to take it off herself and, put it on Paul, but.
And stop that. That triggers heck out of me. Most, if not every resourceful man has to be outside the house and away from his family to get his portion of the king's gold. Very few resourceful men get to work from home and be home and be available to take kids to the freaking dentist and stuff. Like, think about it. Wouldn't it be kind of strange if you at the doctor's office and you see Paul Pierce get out a Rolls Royce with his toddler? Like, it's like, okay, it's cute, but yeah, what's that? Yeah, you got to take him. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be cute, but you think to yourself, like, wouldn't this man be better off using his time somewhere else? That's what I think. But if you could do it, it's a luxury, not a demand. Women like Cheyenne don't get to say what's a good father, what's a real man, based on what they want him to do. I hate that stuff. Get on my nerves.
And they got multiple kids by multiple women.
And it's still tough.
Well, you can't put the blame on the dad. Like let's just speak on that because
let's do that.
Women divorce the men.
Yeah, women file more than men.
So now if you're saying that the kids feel a certain way and we gonna take the criticism of it, well, look, my kids, I didn't divorce your mom.
Yeah.
So it has to be multiple conversations 100%. As they get older and you try to explain stuff. And it's like, you can't say like, I didn't want to be around you or all that, or I have this new family or all of that. It's like, you gotta
you can't say that? Oh, you can't tell. So, well, hold on. We can't be honest with our kids now and say, look, baby, your mom divorced me and I have a new family. And I actually love spending time with you and my new family.
Well, yeah, you can
Wouldn't that be the truth?
That is the truth.
Or is that the hard truth?
But this is the hard truth,
this is
what you got to be careful with kids.
That's my point.
You
But that's the hard truth. But listen, you can, remember, words don't teach, experience does. I don't mean to cut you off. I got to go there for a second. We can tell our child whatever we want to tell.
Exactly. The mom. Let's bring it back to the mom. I think moms, one of the biggest roles that moms got, and they rarely do it, is to reinforce. Because kids can have an idea, but as a mom, are you going to fuel the fire or are you going to put the fire out? So if the kids feel like, oh, I'm less than my brothers and sisters that my dad may have by another woman, you as a mom supposed to step in and say, no, you ain't. Your dad's a good man, this and that. And then let him know to have the conversation with you. But a lot of these women will pour gas on, like, yeah, he ain't ish. They hear you in the house on the phone with your girlfriends talking about him. So they already got an idea of him.
Don't we know it? And they're actually going against court orders, but they don't care. And shout out to the good doctor for twisting up the brother Paul Pierce's words. Paul said, he said, I can't tell my kids, I'm not going to tell my kids I got a new family. I don't want to be with you anymore. Cheyenne takes it and says, you can't say that. You can't tell your kids that you got another family, and even though you love them, you got to spend time with your other family. She completely changed up the scenario to get Paul to say yes. I can't stand that. He said, I can't tell my kids I don't want to be with you. And she just switched it up because she hurt. She got to make Paul to be out to be a monster. I'm here for it.
Tell them. The experience that we give them is what they learn. You can tell a child every day I love you and don't spend no time with them. That child will grow up to feel unloved.
And let me say this. My dad has 6 kids, though. My dad has.
Like, she can't tell me.
No. My dad has 6 children.
Oh my God.
6 daughters.
We're tagging you in, Paul.
But my dad has 6 daughters. I just want to say this.
Yeah.
My dad is a present, wealthy father. He has money. He has means. He's married to my mother.
Yeah.
He was married 2 times before and has 6 children.
Before you.
Before my mom.
Wow.
2 times. He has 6 children. I'm the youngest out of 6.
Wow.
My sister and myself, who are from my mother, who he's been married to the longest, got to see my dad the most. My other sisters have gripes where they're like, damn, I love my dad. He provided for us financially because he's rich. He did this. He came and saw us when he could and da-da-da-da. But I wasn't growing up in the household every day with my dad.
Because they wanted the true currency of life. You know what that currency is? Time. Mm-hmm. Time is a true currency of life. It's not green and you can't spend it. And you can't even describe time. You know why? Because it's that infinite.
Yeah.
It sounds good. It sounds good coming from people with money. Like it's a cliche thing to say is time. Go and tell poor people that's homeless on the street, give them more time. Instead of 24 hours in a day, give them 34 hours so they can be miserable, 10 more hours in the day. Give them more time to be broke. Give them more time to be hungry. Instead of being hungry for 24 hours, you could be hungry for 34 hours. Just give them time. That's all they need.
Time flies when you're having fun. And when times is hard and you're downtrodden, time drags along. I came to that realization. I'm like, man, when I was a kid, it seemed like a day lasted 48 hours. It just would not end. But now when I got a lot of stuff to do, got a family, it ain't no 24-hour days. It's like 6 hours in this day, man.
It's like 3 hours.
That was my point. It's a privileged position.
Yeah.
It's like, you can't tell this to the majority of people. All right, they need more than time. Yeah. These kids need money. Go tell these kids in the projects that eat oodles and noodles, they daddy need to spend more time, or do they need more resources and money?
But look at what she's doing. Look at what she's doing, and look at why Paul is getting a little bit like, he's like, you can't tell me what to say, because he want to treat her like one of the guys in the locker room, but
exactly.
He can't do that because he's doing what Kendra doesn't do. He's considering the audience, right? So he's sitting there and he's watching this woman that has went way past the wall talk at him about marriage and family two things of which she has never done. She has no children. She has no family. She has no reference of the things that she's talking about. You can tell children, I love you. I want to be with you. But me and your mom didn't work out and your mom moved 8 hours away. So we can't see you as often as we would want to. We do that. We do have those conversations with children. And then what do the mothers do? Some of them, like Gavin just described, go and get that gasoline and those hot matches and come light the fire the moment insecurity walks in the room. And I, even as a mother living in the house with a child that has a half brother or half sister, even have to tell my father or his father, because as Gavin just mentioned, time is a luxury. Sometimes I have to tell my husband, hey, take Nevin to go get a QT drink. He's missing his dad, but he don't really want to bother you because he knows you busy with work. Like, do some extra with him. Take him to the comic book store, like, because you don't want to pour the gasoline. You want to quell the storm that's brewing up inside of them and kind of like reset the track. Like, even as a mother in the house with the man doing the things that the other people are saying they're not getting, you still as a woman have a duty to do that or to not do it. So it's just like very disheartening to see this woman that has no sweat equity in the game talk at a man that has done it successfully twice. And look, if he can't be at 2 braces or orthodontic appointments, I'm sure he can send an au pair or, one of his cousins or homies from that city to go and make sure that it happens appropriately, whether it's braces or a car or what have you. He's the man with the actual means. So she is just I'm so happy that he's going to cook her. Like, she deserves it.
Yeah, I was going to say, and this is where the healing comes from as being a woman and being a mother and being a baby's mom, whatever you want to call it. Like, you have to be in that mindset. Like, even if, for example, Paul Pierce, he has multiple babies' moms and families and stuff like that. And she's talking about all the coverage and it's God and then the man and then the woman and the kids. You're already outside of your coverage because you're not even married. You don't even have kids. You don't have nothing. So even though you're a baby's mom, you're still under that man's coverage as being the baby's mom. So you have to, regardless if you guys are together or not, you have to represent that man with your child and reassuring the child and doing all that. Yes, dad loves you, he cares about you, but that's where the healing comes from, and you should be able to do that. And
that part,
she's not. Yeah,
it's that important. Paul, what were you gonna say? Because I feel like you have something heavy to say. Come on, Paul.
I don't know.
We were talking about, no, because you were going somewhere good. You were saying that we can't just blame the father. We also have to look at the mother who is filing for divorce. No, you're going somewhere good, because I wanted to talk about that piece because you're on point. And you were saying that when you have a conversation with the child, it can't always be daddy messed up, right? Daddy is the problem, right? You were going down that lane.
Yeah, no,
but let me tell you why I love that you were going there, because a lot of times, because kids,
she got in.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you were going somewhere so good, because kids grow up when the divorce happens and dad leaves the house, right? And what happens is little boys end up resenting their mother. Because in a little boy's mind, yes, they do. Yes, they do. They end up resenting the mom. You know why? Because in the little boy's mind, if mom would have done right, daddy would have wanted to be here. The only time that a little boy does not resent the mother is if he literally sees his father abusing his mother, and he can rationalize why his mom would leave his father. If a child cannot rationalize why you would leave his mother, he has to, they're kids, they have no insight, Paul. They got to blame somebody. And if they don't blame you or mom, guess what they blame?
You a lie, and the truth ain't in you.
Here we go. My greatest problem with her is she speaks in absolutes. She don't speak with any context. She put an umbrella over all people. Like, if you don't do this, then your kid's going to end up like this. If you don't do this, then that. She don't say like a majority or some, or it could happen, or it may happen. She says it will happen, and this is what's going to happen because I said so.
And she's incorrect. Just 100% incorrect. She stated that all, let's say even if she said some or half, of the boys that don't have fathers in the household resent their mothers. Growing up in the hood around a whole bunch of single moms, being, a fatherless boy myself, never did I resent my mom for it. There's no energy to do it. That's just wacky. This is the gynocratic fear. And that's why they make you hate your father. Never seen no baby in the hood mad at their mom because the dad ain't her. I never seen it, never heard it. No, he deadbeat because the mama and aunties and sisters say so. Never any malice towards the mom. It's weird.
Themselves. Now we're really in a self-hate crisis. Now we have a little kid that grows up and they feel shame, because shame and guilt are different. Shame is I'm a bad person. Guilt is I did something wrong. So now we have a child that thinks I'm a bad person because I wasn't good enough to keep mom and dad together. I wasn't good enough for my dad and mom to say, even if I stay for her or for him, we're going to keep this family together. So there's nothing I did that was good enough to make these two people who are supposed to love me and not drop me, not fumble this family. Kids end up in suicidal ideations over divorce. I have so many kids in my session, teenager, adolescent boys who were 16, who were like, I hate my father for cheating on my mom. I looked in my dad's phone, knew his password, and seen the text messages between him and this woman. And now I'm suicidal. And I want to plan to do it in the kitchen so my dad could find me. You know why? So my dad could see the pain that I felt when he ruined our family.
You know what's crazy?
Paul, that is deep.
Yeah, I understand that. That is super deep.
It is.
But like,
And once again, it's crazy. First of all, what happened to client privilege, with your therapist? You just telling all the beans. You do this all the time. She'll come up here always talking about her clients. And, one of them was about to delete himself. The kid found the exception don't disprove the rule. That's my thing with her. Let's say it is true. You got one example of this happening and you try to project this across the board. Like she keep taking stuff from her sessions. It might be one person said it, and then she said, this is the rule.
Coming from a clearly unstable individual. Again, you don't justify that. Oh, I saw my pop was cheating. I'm going off myself now. What? I'm pretty sure you got mental issues before you went through your dad's phone looking at messages. That's weird and cringy. As a young man, this was.
But like I said, even if so, let's say it's all true. We don't really have to dispute that fact. It's one person. There are billions of people on this planet. You can't say one person said something, don't make no sense. You can't really.
This is Order 66, y'all. Peep what she's doing. She's sitting in front of Paul Pierce trying to trigger him for having failed relationships and being an NBA player. Y'all, she's trying to trigger him. She's sitting up there and she's doing those microaggressions that we just talked about in the chat earlier. Yes. She's sitting up there and she's pushing all the buttons on his elevator to see which one is going to get him to do that Cam Newton shit. But he's not going to do the Cam Newton. He's going to do the Paul Pierce. And it's going to be so beautiful, but that's what she's doing. Her framework, she doesn't have any kind of therapeutic framework for the commercialized healing her and Kendra G are trying to push to you BWs.
You know what's crazy?
Paul, that is deep.
Yeah, I understand that. That is super deep.
It is.
But like, this is the thing with kids. They're always going to hear one side of the story when there's a divorce, right? Because they're going to be in the house every day with the mom and they can ask questions at any time and the mom can say whatever. The dad is not there every day and he can't explain his side because there's a side of the story and a dynamic in all of this to where the dad is always going to look, the dad always looks at as the bad guy. even though the dad didn't divorce, right? Which happens 90%.
Yeah.
A lot of the times.
Well, women
But they
file
never,
more than men. You're right.
Yeah,
Yes.
right. But the kids never know the other side of the story because the men don't tell the kids the other side.
No. You know why? It's to what you just said. Because the man ain't in the house to tell his story. But let me backtrack. Hold on. Because see, when I decide at 42 to be a mother,
This is the year?
Yeah, it is.
You pregnant?
I was like, did we get an exclusive?
You said
No, I took my IUD out about a month ago so that I can be ready to do it.
Congrats.
I'm
I
very
What is
love
that,
that.
the eggs?
The IUD is like,
You took the eggs out and
no,
freeze them?
no, the
That's not that?
IUD is a birth control method that you put inside of your vagina.
I wish I had a pillow. I would
don't
launch you right at your head.
No, I didn't know. I didn't know. I mean, I know.
The eggs is crazy, but
Well,
no.
you freeze the eggs.
Yeah, you do that, but
I know,
that's not
I didn't know
what
if that was
the
what it's called.
No,
I
no.
know.
The IUD is a little T that looks like this. It's smaller than this. It goes inside the woman's cervix to stop the sperm from fertilizing the egg. So it goes
You
inside.
took that out, you say?
I had my doctor take it out so that I no longer have birth control contraceptive inside of me.
That's different. I never heard of that one.
Took it out so that I can get pregnant now.
I never heard of that one.
I never had one, but it's a thing for sure.
No, I never heard of that one,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is at 42, when I get pregnant,
Which is this year.
right? Manifest it with me, Paul. I love you.
Hold on. You're not even married. Where your man at? She talk about this is Ebony K. She said, I done took my IUD out. All right. I done unfortified these walls. We wide open now. It's time to play.
Papa Molly, I'm sweating.
Woo!
Pop the baby up in me. You feel me?
She want that coup de kata. Somebody go shoot the club up.
She at least 8 years at least into geriatric pregnancy, 42 years old, trying to have her first. I don't agree with this. For her sake, she's a selfish modern woman set in her ways. Now she about to have this little baby dictator. They don't give a care about none of your stuff, but I forget they got au pairs and stuff. I keep forgetting about that. But yeah, she done took her little skeet block route. Now she ready to get knocked up. By who? By who?
Man, this is crazy. So at 42, and Paul like, is them the eggs? Is you freezing eggs? What's going on? Because it is complicated. I mean, where your man at? That's why I would ask. Are you engaged?
I think it's just like this.
She about to tell y'all. She about to tell y'all.
She a trick a man. She be like, I'm safe. You can show up to clubs. I'm 42. I'm safe. No, you ain't.
But I was gonna say, here's the thing, you guys. Even if she does happen to get pregnant and have a baby, look at the rhetoric she's gonna be spitting to that baby. I mean, we see it all the time. Imagine her being someone's. I don't know where the doctor tag came from with her, but imagine that being like, we have sons, Mrs. Raquel, like our son's guidance counselor. Like, look at her rhetoric and where she's at with it. Like, you're not fit to be a mom. Like, psychologically, you're not there. You're not. We could see it. So
She gonna be the one deleting herself because
Right.
the framework that she thought was real is not real. Like, you
Right.
can't apply that to anything.
Yep.
A lot of these women ain't gonna be raising these kids. We talked about this all the time. Yeah, this ain't Bonquisha in the hood. She have
Right.
kids. She's gonna have people around the clock changing diapers, feeding the kid. She ain't doing nothing but funding, coming up with the bread. That's it.
So she'll have a Jaden Smith.
Yep.
Everything.
Yep.
It's not ideal, but these people are doing what they want to do. It's not ideal, but
They bet, and that's why I had to catch myself, Miss Raquel. I'm like, yeah, she ain't gonna be there. Yeah, the baby, these kids are accessories. They want
Right.
to have them not to go through the challenge of raising a responsible, productive human. They want to take cute little pictures and baby Gucci and stuff. That's it.
Get pregnant. I, at 42,
Yeah.
am not leaving my husband. Hold on. Because I'm making a commitment, not just to him, but to these babies, that we will have two people in this house that can tell you their narrative, their story, and you can choose who you want to listen to. You can choose whose story you want to hear. But I want to make sure that I give you everything that I can, which means if I have to sacrifice a little bit in that household to stay in it, if I got to have meetings with daddy to say, listen, we may not want to be here, but we made a commitment to be here. So what we got to do to make sure we healthy so that the family's healthy. But let me tell you why I say age is important in wisdom. In my 20s and even in my 30s, I would have been in my feelings because emotions don't cause problems, feelings do. And I would have acted out of feeling and not commitment because commitment's not a feeling. It's you doing what you said you was going to do regardless of how you feel. At 42, I can commit. That's that obedience to my promised land. At 20, in my 20s and 30s, guess what? I done threw the whole motherfucking towel in and said, you know what? Me and them kids going to be good because I do well. I'm a doctor. I got to support a family and friends. Nigga, we can co-parent.
Come on.
But that's in your 20s and 30s. This is why I'm saying to a person like yourself and other people watching, men and women who have already made those decisions and they end up being bad decisions, not mistakes, because kids are not mistakes, but bad decisions in the way that you happen to, create your kids, the dynamic you put them in. At 42, I understand the power of commitment and sacrifice. At 23, I understood the power of how I feel. That's the difference, Paul. At 23, we gonna tear this house up. We ain't tripping off these kids, we gonna tear this house up.
Facts.
And we'll figure it out later. You know we gonna do that. Call the police, neighbors, I don't care. What you say? Shit. Come pick these kids up real quick. It's a problem. You know that. But at 42, we giving each other that look that goes, the kids is, we agree.
Yeah.
Hold on. Once we put little Paul to sleep at night, now what the fuck was you talking about?
Yeah.
Then we can have our little rounds, but we also are standing on a square that we both drew. That's called commitment. And we are not gonna guarantee each other no perfect marriage. We're not going to guarantee that we even like each other sometimes. But what we are going to commit to and guarantee, we ain't going no fucking where.
Well,
that's one thing that we're supposed to guarantee is that I don't know how life is going to life, but can you promise to be in this life when it life's with me? And you can laugh if you want to because he got a problem with vulnerability, see? You got a problem with commitment.
Everything I've been taking, everything that you said, I'm hearing it.
At 20 and 30, you end up in the situation you're in because people respond from what they feel, not from what they committed to. And if people would take their time getting a sense of self, discovering who the hell they are, so they can know who the heck they got to choose, they will end up in better situations, and so will their offsprings as well. And then we have the real wealth, which is family. And then we can go buy some damn real estate and take the vacations you're talking about taking.
She's saying a lot, as most of these older women do. With age comes wisdom, but with age comes the wall as well. And that's what she is describing. She hit the wall. So when she was 20 and 30, she had no men. She can demand these things because she had plenty of options. Now at 42, she don't. And she like, I'm ready to cooperate. Nah, the wall was on me.
The wall on top of you, man. Shout out to Paul sitting here and just being cool, calm, and collected. Cause she keep throwing little darts over there. She like, folks done made the decision like you did and messed up, made the mistakes like you did, you big mistake maker. Yeah, she trying to paint a picture like she's better off than Paul Pierce. Understand what the good doctor is trying to say. She's like, oh, I didn't create broken homes like you, Paul. She deems Paul's houses to be broken because they're not what she would like or deem. And then you hear how she talk about hashing out misunderstandings with her man. She said they're gonna put the kids to sleep, and she's like, what did you say, you mother effer? All you can do is laugh like Paul did. Like, ain't nobody about to sit here and argue with you, woman. You want to argue.
And another thing is you can't, you really can't project onto people that are getting results in real life, people that are happy and doing good. So she can say whatever she wants. Paul is internalizing it. He says the shoe don't fit me. So he can't be up here offended just because she's, trying to offend him if it ain't true. He like, that ain't me.
I love it. I can't stand how she attacks. She said, you're not ready. You're not good being vulnerable. Yeah, you're emotionally unintelligent. She just be throwing darts.
But until then, we have to focus on the stuff that really is the nucleus, the backbone of the substance. And I'm gonna sip to that. See, he got commitment problems. He laughing and stuff. Commitment problems.
No. You good. You real good. Because all right, so this is how I interpreted what you just said.
Okay.
So at 23, 30, y'all gonna tear the room up, argue, you out of there.
Both of us, not just me, everybody. We do that.
So at 23 and 30, them options you had a lot more options. Now at 42, them options then slimmed up. So yeah, of course you ain't going nowhere.
That ain't it. Now you know what?
No, that's what you just said.
No, that's not what I said.
It's
but
so many
that's not
words.
what I said.
She said I ain't going nowhere.
That's not what I
42.
said. But he's making a good point. For some people who get of age,
yeah,
their options can become slim. But I can say this: it's usually the man who gets up in age, and he realizes that his options have become slim. So now he wants to marry after he's already created broken homes, broken houses, baby mamas, had multiple kids. Hold on. And he don't got his contract no more. So the money looking a little funny. So he got to make sure that he cashes out while he can and get him the closest thing to what he considers a modern day baddie, who is nowhere in comparison to the old school baddies he used to be able to get when he was in his prime. Now for women who are educated, women who are still beautiful, women who are still keeping themselves up physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, they just get better with time. And they become a demand, not just only for older men, but for the younger men.
Holy hell.
You're a liar.
That's a lie.
The woman you feel in you is the devil. Why? The devil is the spirit of a lie.
Yes.
Huh? You're a liar.
She literally just flipped the script. She just described women as men and men as women. That is not true at all. You just described men get better with time, and the vast majority of women do not. There are a few. We acknowledge that, but most of y'all don't. Stop. You're going to say as women, we just keep getting better, and men, y'all get worse, and then y'all get old, then y'all want to get married and settle, and that sound like y'all.
Goodness, shout out to Paul for keeping his composure. She said, your contract gone. Your money ain't the way it used to be. Whoo! Shit, this is, fellas, shout out to Paul Pierce. I tell you what, I never knew much about Paul. Shout out to my old coach Jacobs. He used to call me Paul Pierce. I never knew the connection.
He's a crash out. You got to watch his basketball. I mean, he's fair with it. It was fair. You know, he wasn't Rodman, but he wasn't no punk about it either.
We start rabbit hole because there's more here. This thing long.
And so the women who keep themselves up in that capacity actually become optioned, actually end up having more of abundance of options than they did when they were young. And there are also the women that the men who are their age, like my age, no, they can't obtain, let alone sustain. And so they will stay in their lane. They will stay in their lane because they understand, hold on, she was the woman I wanted when I was younger and couldn't obtain. I damn sure can't do it now that she has become cooked versus still meat that's marinated in the freezer. And that's the truth of it. And if women understood their value, right, as long as they just upkeep their value, right, which is internal and external, then they would stop opting out early on. They would realize, no, my options start to build and expand as I build and expand.
I agree.
And I think men as well. I feel like if men understood their value, then they would not be raw dogging. They would not be sharing their semen with just any women if they understood their value.
Come on.
Those are things that they would double think and triple think.
Yeah.
So, and another thing, I said, I was talking to a friend earlier and I said, you know, the young guy that I was dating for 5 years off and on, I said he had no kids. He was young, very successful, you know, in his field. I said, and what I loved most about him was he showed his responsibility because in our intimate settings, I never, ever one time had to say, can you put a rubber on? Can you put on a contraceptive? I never had to say that because in his mind, he didn't want to procreate before marriage. He didn't want to be raw dogging. He didn't want to, even though we might have had 4 or 5 years together and he was in love with me, he was being responsible. And that was a strong act of self-love. Because what he was saying is that, wait, it's not just you know your value, Shy, and you want me to cover up, not just because babies, but obviously STDs, but I know my value as a man. So you ain't got to ask me to cover up because I'm not going in nothing raw. That is a man who loves himself. There's no man who loves himself and will allow himself to be at the highest risk of STDs when we have HIV and other diseases that are not curable, that are at an all-time high and always have been. That is a self-love deficit. And we have that a lot in our community. That is a problem. And I'm not going to coddle bad decisions when it comes to things that dissipate and marginalize our community even more than it already is. Those are real conversations we need to have. Men need to know that their penis is just as valuable as a woman's private area.
Absolutely.
And they need to act as such. They need to act as such.
I agree with you. Yeah.
What's your situation right now?
Well, the bottom line is before she moved forward, 56 or 54, however you want to slice it, % of black men are single and childless. So I hate when and then 70% of black women are baby mamas damn near, close to it. So if the numbers are correct, why does she act like men? She keep doing this, like stating stats for men as women and vice versa. Like she got everything wrong.
The dots connect, Miss X. Today's modern woman has become the man they claim they despise. Here we are. Shout out to Dr. Cheyenne. for having her 5-year relationship with some young Thundercat that was in love with her. I love listening to her tell her stories. She was hunting on some young Thundercat for 5 years.
Hold on, Mr. Walker. Hold on.
One second, Mr. Raquel, 1 second. And for all those 5 years, they wore protection the whole 5 years. It's just a little lies. And he was in love with her, but she wasn't in love with him.
Goodness. So what you got, Ebony?
Oh man. I just want to say I love the way Paul Pierce is just kicked back, feet up, got his slippers on. He's just listening to her just spit all this rhetoric that makes no sense at all. Like she's all the stuff that she's talking about, she doesn't even have the relationships, the kids, the marriages, none of that. She has none of it. And I love that his demeanor and he's just listening to it all. So man, I can't wait till the next clip because it's coming. Because he's about to cook her though. Because he's like, what's your situation? Where are you at with it? She done took her IUD out at 42. It's a wrap already. Just keep it in.
Yeah. She gave him so much ammo already to just cook her up like filet. Like just like it's over, girl. Like
man.